You're home early evening, windows open, and from somewhere deep in the trees, you hear this. One bird, but it sounds like two. That is the wood thrush. And what you just heard is not a trick. This bird has a Y-shaped vocal organ that allows it to sing two notes at the exact same time, harmonizing with itself in a single breath. Scientists call it an internal duet. The result is a flute-like song so beautiful that the naturalist Henry David Thoreau wrote about it in his journal, saying that whoever hears it feels like they are in a new world, with the gates of heaven open. The wood thrush has over 50 distinct songs, and each male arranges them in his own personal order, a signature no other bird shares. It is also the official bird of Washington, D.C., a bird that sings a duet with itself and does it better than most musicians do with a partner. The next bird doesn't harmonize, it competes. Most Americans hear this bird every single morning. That is the northern cardinal. 7 states have chosen it as their official bird, more than any other species in the country. But here's what most people don't know about its song. The female cardinal sings too, not just the male. Both sing, and they often perform duets together, answering each other from different spots in their territory. The male uses his song to defend territory and attract mates. The female uses hers to tell her partner exactly when and where she needs food while incubating eggs, communicating from inside the nest without ever leaving it. 2 birds, 2 voices, 1 conversation happening right outside your window. The next bird announces spring before most people even feel it. Every spring in America, before the sun is even up, one bird starts singing. That is the American robin. It is often the first voice of the dawn chorus, singing in complete darkness, up to an hour before sunrise, before almost any other bird begins. Its song is one of the most recognized sounds in the country, but there is more happening than most people realize. The robin doesn't just sing in the morning, it adjusts its song throughout the day, different phrases for different times, different intensity depending on temperature, light, and season. Biologists have found that robins living in cities sing at higher pitches than those in forests, because urban noise is louder at lower frequencies, and the robin adapted its voice to be heard above it, a bird that evolved its song around the sounds of human civilization. The next bird sounds nothing like what you'd expect from something so small. This bird fits in the palm of your hand. That volume came from something that weighs less than half an ounce. The Carolina wren is one of the loudest birds in North America relative to its size. Its tea kettle call carries through entire forests and neighborhoods with the force of a bird 3 times its size. Each male has a repertoire of several dozen song variations and sings one version about 15 times before switching to another. But what makes the Carolina wren truly unusual is that it sings year-round. Most birds go quiet in winter, not this one. In the coldest months, when the woods are silent, the Carolina wren is still calling from the brush, one of the only voices left in the landscape. Small body, enormous voice, 0 days off. The next bird uses its voice as a weapon. Every American knows this call. But the blue jay is not just loud, it is calculated. Blue jays are among the few birds in North America that regularly mimic other species, and their favorite target is the hawk. They can produce a near-perfect imitation of a red-shouldered hawk's scream. Scientists believe they do this for 2 reasons. First, to clear the feeder. When a blue jay mimics a hawk, every smaller bird scatters instantly, and the jay walks in and eats alone. Second, as a genuine alarm when a real hawk is actually nearby. Captive blue jays have learned to mimic cat meows, dryer chimes, and even human speech. A bird smart enough to use another animal's voice as a tool. The next bird has been called the most beautiful sound in the American spring. Before we continue, where in the United States are you watching this from? Drop your state in the comments. We want to know which of these birds you can actually hear from your own backyard. If this video is teaching you something, subscribe to Birdwatching TV. Every week, the most remarkable birds in America explained clearly and accurately. Now let's keep going. Imagine hearing a flute playing from the treetops on a warm spring morning. That is the Baltimore Oriole. A naturalist in the early 1900s described its song as spilling notes of molten sweetness, and that is still one of the most accurate descriptions ever written about a bird's voice. The male sings to defend territory and attract mates, but unlike most birds, the female Baltimore Oriole also sings. Shorter phrases used to communicate directly with her mate while she weaves their remarkable hanging nest from tree fibers. The Oriole's song is the sound of spring arrival in the eastern United States. When it appears at feeders in May, Americans across 30 states know winter is finally over. A voice so associated with warmth and season reasons that its arrival is a calendar event. The next bird sounds like it belongs in an orchestra. Deep in the forest, late afternoon, everything goes quiet, and then you hear this. The hermit thrush is the official bird of Vermont, and many birders consider its song the most spiritual sound produced by any animal in North America. Like the wood thrush, it sings using both sides of its vocal organ at once. But its song goes further. A series of rising and falling phrases repeated in a pattern that scientists have found mirrors the harmonic series found in human music. In other words, the hermit thrush naturally produces notes that follow the same mathematical relationships underlying all Western musical scales. Not by accident, not by imitation of humans, its voice arrived at the same structure on its own. The next bird closes this list with a song that has been the sound of the American heartland for centuries. You're standing in an open field, tall grass, wide sky, and from a fence post in the distance, you hear this. That is the western meadowlark. 6 states have chosen it as their official bird: Kansas, Montana, Nebraska, North Dakota, Oregon, and Wyoming. No other species holds that distinction. Its song consists of 7 to 10 flute-like notes that carry across open plains for over a mile, and it is one of the first bird songs ever recorded in history. A meadowlark call was captured on a phonograph cylinder in 1888, but its population has declined by nearly 75% since 1966, as the open grasslands it needs continue to disappear. A bird whose song defined a landscape for generations, and a voice that is growing harder to find. You're sitting outside on a quiet morning and you hear this coming from somewhere nearby. Your first thought is an owl hiding in the trees, but it's the middle of the day, and owls don't sing at noon. That is the mourning dove, and it is one of the most common birds in the entire country, found in every single continental state year-round. Its soft, mournful coo gives the bird its name. Early naturalists described the sound as sad and sorrowful, like a song of grief, and yet millions of Americans grew up hearing it every morning without ever knowing what it was. The mourning dove has a population of over 350 million across North America, making it the most abundant game bird on the continent. It can nest up to 6 times in a single year, and the males are so devoted to their preferred singing spots that they will actively defend a single branch or fence post from other males who try to take it. A bird so common it became invisible, until you finally learn to listen for it. You're walking through a field in summer, and a small flash of yellow shoots past you, singing as it flies. That is the American goldfinch, and its call in flight has one of the most memorable descriptions in all of birding. Birders across the country say the goldfinch sounds like it is saying "Potut to Chip" as it bounces through the air, its body rising and falling with every wing beat in perfect rhythm with its call. The American goldfinch is one of the most strictly vegetarian birds in North America. Its diet is almost entirely seeds, which is why it nests later than almost any other songbird, waiting until midsummer when thistle and milkweed seeds are fully available for its chicks. The male's song is a long, rapid burst of twitters and warbles that carries far across open fields. But it is the flight call, that cheerful, bouncing potut-to chip, that has made the goldfinch a favorite of backyard birders from coast to coast. A bird that announces itself every time it moves. This bird is everywhere, and most people have never noticed it. That is the song sparrow, one of the most widespread and adaptable birds in North America. It gets its name not from how it looks, which is plain brown and easy to overlook, but entirely from its voice. The song sparrow can learn up to 20 completely different songs, with as many as 1,000 improvised variations on the basic theme. But unlike the mockingbird that switches constantly, the song sparrow commits. It repeats the same song many times before switching to the next, making it one of the most patient and precise singers in the country. What makes it truly unique is how it learns. Song sparrows memorize songs from their immediate neighbors, and then choose territories close to the birds that taught them, building musical communities where neighboring sparrows share the same songs like a local dialect, a small brown bird that carries an entire neighborhood's music inside its throat. You're standing under a fruit tree in late autumn and you hear something unusual. A flock of birds, but not singing, just calling, constantly, from every direction. That high, thin, glassy whistle is the Cedar Waxwing, and here's the fact that surprises almost everyone. The Cedar Waxwing is technically classified as a songbird, part of the same group as robins and cardinals and thrushes, but it has no song. Not a simplified one, not a short one, no song at all. It is one of the only songbirds in the world that lost its song entirely over the course of evolution. Scientists believe it happened because waxwings live in large roaming flocks year-round, moving hundreds or thousands of miles to follow fruiting trees. And a bird that never defends a fixed territory simply has no need for a territorial song. Instead, the entire flock communicates through those high, crystal calls. A chorus of thin whistles rippling through the air above you. A songbird that chose silence and built something more beautiful instead. Early spring. The fields are still cold, and from a fence post at the edge of a meadow, you hear this. That is the eastern bluebird, and its soft, warbling song has been called the sound of hope by American poets and naturalists for over 2 centuries. The bluebird was once in serious decline across the United States, nearly disappearing from the eastern landscape by the mid-20th century as natural tree cavities were taken over by invasive species. Then something remarkable happened. Volunteers across the country began building and installing thousands of nest boxes specifically for bluebirds. Today, because of one of the most successful grassroots conservation efforts in American history, the eastern bluebird has fully recovered. Its gentle, liquid warble is once again heard across meadows, orchards, and farmlands from Maine to Florida and Texas. A bird that almost went silent and came back because people decided to listen. Even in the middle of February, when the trees are bare and most birds have gone quiet, one voice cuts through the cold. Peter, Peter, Peter. That is the tufted titmouse. And its sharp whistled call is one of the most recognized sounds in the eastern United States, ringing through forests and backyards from the first days of late winter all the way through summer. The tufted titmouse is one of the earliest singers of the year, often beginning its territorial song in January or February, weeks before most birds even consider starting. Scientists have found that male titmice with the loudest and most consistent songs attract the most mates and hold the best territories, making vocal power, not just appearance, the key to success for this species. It is also one of the few backyard birds known to pull hair directly from living mammals, including sleeping dogs, squirrels, and occasionally humans, to line its nest. Bold, loud, and completely fearless for a bird that fits in your palm. You're driving down a rural road in midsummer, and from a telephone wire above you, a small electric blue bird is singing at full volume in the midday heat. That is the Indigo Bunting, nicknamed the Blue Canary, and in parts of the eastern United States, it may be the most abundant songbird along roadsides. The male sings up to 200 songs per hour at dawn, and then keeps up a pace of at least 1 song per minute for the rest of the entire day. Scientists have documented individuals singing for hours without pause, well into the evening. But here's the fact that makes the Indigo Bunting unlike any other bird on this list. It migrates at night, and it navigates entirely by the stars. The Indigo Bunting has an internal clock that orients it to the night sky, choosing a star to determine its position in space, and maintaining an angle between that star and the Earth to fly in a direct line over 1,000 miles to its destination. A bird that reads the stars to find its way home, and sings all day when it gets there. You're near a marsh in late February. The air is still cold, the trees are bare, and then from the top of a cattail you hear this. Conch-la-ree. That is the red-winged blackbird, and that single call is one of the most recognized sounds in all of North America. The red-winged blackbird is one of the most abundant birds on the continent, with a population estimated at over 190 million. It is found in every state in the continental United States, and its Conch-la-ree song from the cattails is one of the earliest and most reliable signs that winter is ending. The male returns to his breeding marsh as early as January, weeks before the females arrive, and spends more than a quarter of every daylight hour defending his territory through song alone. He stands on the highest perch he can find, puffs out his bright red shoulder patches, and broadcasts that call across the water as loud and as long as possible. In winter, red-winged blackbirds gather in flocks that can reach several million birds, creating one of the most spectacular avian events in the country. A bird so common it became the soundtrack of an entire season. Now it's your turn. Where in the United States are you watching this from? Drop your state in the comments. We want to build a map of where our viewers are listening from, and tell us, which of these 16 birds have you actually heard with your own ears? Write the name in the comments. If you've heard more than one, list them all. Is there a bird we missed? A song from your backyard or your neighborhood that you think deserves to be on this list? Tell us. Your suggestion could become our next video. If this video taught you something today, do 3 things right now. Hit subscribe so you never miss a new video. Leave a like. It takes 1 second and it helps more people discover these birds. And share this video with someone who loves nature, because these songs deserve to be heard by as many people as possible. Every single week, we publish a new video about the most remarkable birds in the United States. Their songs, their stories, and the facts that will make you stop and listen differently the next time you step outside. Subscribe to Birdwatching TV. We'll see you next week. Keep your eyes on the sky. Every bird has a secret. Come back and we'll tell you another one.